One, we'll start properly. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accept mean of angel is messenger and the accept mean of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful returning guest, Sifu Boggie. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live or at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with like minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Ray, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy. And I'm a spiritual guide and healer passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. Now, through angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me that with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life full of abundance and fulfillment. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey. A mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's returning guest, Sifu Boggie, about Sifu's Qi Mystery School. Now, Sifu says, what if the secret to unlocking your body's natural ability to heal physically, emotionally, and energetically was already within you? Over 40 years, he has studied the Daoist and Eastern Arts, Qi Gong, Neigong, meditation, energy enhancement, and self healing practices that defy conventional wisdom. In addition, his path has been anything but conventional, from working as a close protection officer for embassies and Financial Times 500 companies, as well as doing massage and Qigong for them in the 90s. Sifu also learnt to be a skilled baker and pastry chef at the same time, to turn up to a few years ago, and then being a police community support officer for the London Met for 14 years. Now, Sifu's journey is a testament to the Taoist principles of adaptability and flow. But what makes his unconventional journey interesting is not just the knowledge he has gained over the years, but it's that he teaches you how to reclaim your power and transform your life from the inside out. And I know when Sifu has been my guest on my show before, we have had some amazing conversations because his knowledge of all things esoteric is absolutely phenomenal. So, he's a brilliant person to have a guest and to have a conversation with. So, without further delay, hello, Sifu, and a warm welcome back to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just a note to myself: don't press any button just before you're about to go live. He's like, "What does that do?" No, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. Remember, don't do it. But anyway, I'm
Don't
good.
do it. I forgot to say that. I normally say it to all my guests, don't touch anything, but I completely forgot with you. But never mind. Before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you, which are, that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Sifu and I want you to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. And Wald is here already and says hello. And Eleanor is here already and says hello. Thank you both for joining us. So, Sifu, why don't you remind us about your journey? What has been going on in the last few years since you've been on the show, and how the Chi Mystery School can help us reclaim our power?
Right. So I started off like as a kid. I've always been a little bit different, and well, when I was a kid, I was sort of bullied as a kid for thinking outside the box. And later, I find out I'm actually dyslexic. Uh, but yeah, as a kid, I was bullied. So my parents my dad took me to learn martial arts, and I started doing a particular martial arts that actually did meditation. I loved meditation, and the that led to the adjudicators for the martial art had different belts. Or you doing the different belts, you had an adjudicator, and one of the adjudicators was a Taoist and a Shaolin master or Sifu, and he saw something in me, or he very much saw a side of me that he wanted to help teach and he went to my parents, and I started learning from him the Daoist arts. The Dao means the way, the path, the balance, and then I was been doing that ever since. Been doing that for the last 43 years, and about 3 years ago, I left the police. I used to be a PCSO, police community support officer, and I left there to come to wonderful Lincolnshire, the land of the Vikings, and met my beautiful partner Eleanor. I came up here, and we're on Sitcops Farm, which is beautiful 8 acres of land with like trees at the front, and we got. Uh, Two huskies, two alpacas, one cat, and Dotty the pig. And so we have a small little farm, and then we do weddings. And I'm actually in my little studio, my healing queen, which is the Chinese version of dojo, where I do massage and also I teach and I do my online stuff. And I've always been doing. I've done podcasts myself, which you've been on, and I've always been doing this sort of stuff, and it's always the journey is to help others, but Taoistically, it's all about you. It's like helping you help you because we're all our own Sifu, and we've all got our own mission. And it's not about having set teachers or masters telling you what to do because you have your own path, you have your own Dao, your own way, your own path. But my job is to help you guide you on it. So the Shindao Mystery School has had a different variations over the last 20 years, especially. But now it's settled in the Shindao uscreen.io, which is the web address, and it's sort of like if Netflix and Facebook had a baby, it would be Uscreen. It would be my website. So it's a mixture of videos, and it's got a Netflix style thing about it that you can scroll through the different videos. But just like Facebook, it's also interactive, so you can actually talk. And there is a live side to it as well, where there are each week there are four different classes, live classes, but there are over eight different recorded classes or styles of category of classes that you can do on my website on Uscreen. And very much like anybody who knows me knows I'm very interactive. I love asking the hardest question in the world, which is, what do you want to do? What do you want to learn? What is it you want to do? And through that, so through our classes, if you say, oh, have you got a Qi Gong, an energy exercise 4, or do you have anything for this? We'll go off on this little journey together, and we'll adapt the class. So I'm very much about helping individuals grow and learn. And I was always taught, I've learned 1,000 Qigongs, so you don't have to. So you only have to learn a few. And it's all about, for me, it's all about guiding you and helping you find what you need. And over the years, I've helped people with fibromyalgia, with like chronic pain, with Crohn's, with arthritis, with MS, ME, with migraines, where people who are getting over cancer and overcoming cancer through operations. I've helped people in the FT, the Fortune 500 and 100 index businesses, so giving them exercises that improve productivity. I've helped sports people improve their sports. I've done so many different things with what I do because it's all about the way, the path, the balance. So what I do is it's literally like a water, and whatever your cup is or your teapot, the water adapts to it. That's why the old saying that Bruce Lee once said, which is Daoist saying, when the water goes into the cup, it becomes the cup. When the water goes into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. So the whole idea of the Dao, the whole idea of everything I do, it adapts to your needs because that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to adapt and enhance and grow. But hey, what do I know?
Oh, you know a lot. You definitely uh you definitely do know a lot. So for anyone that is watching this that is kind of like, yeah, that sounds all great, all fun, move my energy, etc. But that doesn't happen to me. I can't do that. You hear this all the time.
Mm.
You know, what would you say to them? How would you sort of like say to them, well, actually, this you can, this is how you would do it.
Yeah, so there's an interesting thing. I mean, I've always I'm very or I'm into spirituality, but I'm also into science, and I've always loved science, and I love quantum physics, and I love a science growing called epigenetics. And epigenetics very much shows what you think and feel affect your physical health. And epigenetics, one of the sides of epigenetics is the placebo effect. And the placebo is what you believe is true. So there is this interesting thing where people say, oh, it doesn't work for me. It's like, you focus on that, that's what you get. But you allow yourself to play. And the biggest thing for me is to understand that whether you're man, woman, banana, or goat, you have a divine feminine side, which is your nurturing side, your loving side, your creativity side. You have a divine masculine side, which is your action. So one is the creativity and the feeling. The divine masculine side within you is the action. But you also have a sacred child. And the sacred child is all about the play. Now, when we were kids, a lot of us were told, sit up straight, don't move, don't fidget, do what you're told, and you still have that programming inside you, and you're stopping your creativity, and you're stopping yourself from doing things in a certain way. Now, in a, for example, like meditation, some people say, "Oh, I can't see things, I can't," but you can think things, or you can hear it, or what you need to do is learn how you learn and what your skill sets are is that we all have creativity in us. We all have the ability. Like we've also been told, spirituality, psychic, but that's so for certain people. No, we're all psychic. We all have a way of tuning into. So we hear information, we receive information, and the universe is us, and we are that universe. So it communicates with us all the time. You just got to actually listen and look and start paying attention. And that's in essence what synchronicity is all about. Is that when you start focusing on something, you'll start seeing signs. You'll start picking things up. And there's a thing in psychology that we know. If I say, "Don't think about the pink elephant," don't do it. Don't think about the pink elephant. You're going to start thinking about one. And if you keep talking about pink elephant, you're going to start seeing pink elephants or signs for pink elephants, or you're going to, because there's a great one about red sports cars, and say, like, if you keep talking about red sports car, you'll start seeing more of them. You'll start seeing, because what happens in our consciousness, our brain will actually start looking for the things that we're looking for. So what happens is a lot of the time we say, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm not lucky. We can't. Or I'm not this, and I'm not that." And we're literally programming our consciousness to that thing that we're focusing on. And so there's in the UK there's uh, a very interesting fellow called Darren Brown, who is sort of a magician, and he's sort of like a psychologist as well, but he uses magic. And there was a show he did on luck, and there was a guy in there. We'll call him Bob the Butcher. And Bob the Butcher said, I'm unlucky. No, nothing ever good happens for me. I'm always unlucky." So Darren Brown, behind the scenes, he got somebody to post a scratch card that he would win £50 through his door. He threw it away. He got he got a lady come up to him saying, "You do this survey and you'll win a prize," and it was going to be £100. He said, "Oh, I'm too busy," and he walked away from it. They put a wallet in front of his feet with £500 in it. He totally ignored it. It took a big sign on a car moving along saying, "Bob, call this number now, for him to actually, do something. And then the guy Darren Brown showed him all the video of all this stuff and saying, you literally were blocking every opportunity I put in front of you. You were blocking. So it's the same with the universe. How many opportunities do you ignore? How many things are you blocking? So when we actually reverse the way we think and feel, we can reverse what happens to us. And epigenetics is talking about the same thing, is that the way you're thinking and feeling is literally affecting your physical health and literally affecting the way you grow. So if you're always feeling the universe doesn't have your back, then change that narrative, flip that dialogue, turn it around to the opposite. Because we are the creators of our own reality, and we can change things. And it's all about the dialogue we say to ourselves will affect the way things are. Now, if that's a little bit too much, there's a Taoist concept of just listen and observe and just let go of all that stuff and just breathe and just relax and let go and just start listening to your internal dialogue and start listening to what your body's saying. And if you have the monkey mind, the full brain has 60 to 90,000 thoughts every single day. And when this is being very negative, just listen for a while and just go, sure, thank you very much. What else you got to tell me? Thank you very much. What else you got to tell me? And start talking to yourself. Now we were told that's a bad thing. Oh, people think you're crazy, but that's what you actually meant to do. We're meant to have a dialogue with ourselves because that's the dialogue of the universe. That voice that we're told to ignore is actually, if you want to go that way, it's God. It's whatever God is to you. That's the universe comes through your own voice. It comes through you, and when you start talking to it and listening and opening up to it, you actually start receiving more and more information.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it better myself. And Elaine says, "Good evening, everyone. Good to see you here." And Jennifer, hi Jennifer, great to see you as well. And Susanna agrees absolutely with what you've been saying, because it makes so much sense, and everybody at some point has had those synchronicities. If they think back now, oh, I wanted to change my car to a red car, or I changed my car to a red, and suddenly you see red cars. So everybody, there's something that somebody has had. So they just need to think back to that to know, actually, I have had those synchronicities. I have had those things come to us. I just didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah, 100%. And being a Taoist means that or at least for me, the Boggie, my actual name, Sifu Boggie. Boggie means the balance between the chaos and the calmness. So I've always been somebody who does 100 different things, but those 100 different things are all interconnected, and it's an interesting thing. It's like when I became a baker, and when I started doing baking, my teachers went, "Ah, excellent! Bakers make great masseuse because kneading the dough works the massage, and everything you do. So everything you're doing now has a connection to what you're going to do in the future." And ultimately, like whatever your path is, where you may think you're a million miles away from your path, but I tell you now that you're far closer to what you want to do than you think, if you actually just allow yourself to open up, lean back, and see the bigger picture, and you'll start to see connections, because the universe is always pushing you towards what you're meant to do, whether you realize it or not. And sometimes, like, you think you're doing something totally opposite, and it's just going to go around in a big circle and bring you back to where you're meant to be. So as a Taoist, we don't believe in right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. There just is. There is the path that you're on, and if you think you're steering yourself away from it, it's like rowing with one arm. When you're doing something wrong, you're rowing in a boat with one arm. Well, what happens? You go in a big circle, so you come back to where you're meant to be. So it's the understanding of this, and one of the things I've studied is NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and the whole understanding is that one of the good things is that you have the ability always to reprogram yourself. You're never. That's the biggest thing. While you're still alive, you can always heal. While you're still alive, you can always change. You're never stuck. People have got into this illusion. Oh, I can't change now. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm too blue. I've got blue lights on the moment. I'm always too something, but you're always where you're meant to be, and you can always get back to where you're meant to be. That's the whole point. So things can always change, and the thing is, like some says, I'm not confident enough. Think of times you were confident, or think of times you were happy or healthy. And in NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, they love things like pull your ear. Think of those times and pull your ear, or tug your nose. And then when you need that skill in the future, when you need that energy, you do that trigger. You create that trigger to help you draw that energy in. So we always have the ability to gain, to access what we need to, because in science, quite in quantum physics, with the quantum field. So we heard of like the atom, and the atom is full of empty space. 99.999% of the atom is empty space. Well, back in 1974, when I was 4 years old, I can't count, but 4 years old, they found what's called the quantum field, which states that empty space is not empty at all. It is a fabric or field of energy that connects every atom to every other atom. So all is one. So everything that you need, you have access to always. And the only it's only just you think you don't have access, but you do. It's there. It's in your field, and you can attract whatever you need. And you do that quite simply by focusing on it. Whatever you focus on grows, and that's the biggest thing. So if you've got negativity in your world, what are you focusing on? If you're focusing on negativity, that's what the universe will give you, because it'll give you what it thinks you want. And what you're focusing on, that's what it thinks you want. So change what you're focusing on, and you change what you're receiving. So it's about learning how to access things, and we access things simply by focusing on them to draw. We're a magnet, and we attract in. So you're getting certain things, and you don't want those certain things. Focus on the opposite of it, or focus on the things you do want, and you'll change your frequency. And changing the frequency gets those new things in. And or you can come and see me, and I'll teach you how to increase your frequency and how to do those things, because it's one of the things I do.
Yep, exactly. And there is and you don't have to do it alone. There are so many people out there that can help you. And again, it's sort of like taking that charge of your destiny, that charge of your autonomy to say, I am going to ask for help. Because I think sometimes that is one of our biggest issues in this world. And it goes back to when you're younger, and you're told, you should keep quiet, you shouldn't ask for help, etc. Whereas
Mm.
you shouldn't, because you said we are all one. So that person you ask is the person you're meant to ask, because you're the one energy that can help each other.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's interesting that or like yeah, there is that thing of you're meant to do it yourself. You're meant to stand up for yourself, and it's like I mean, like Daoistically or quantum physicsy, is that we're all one. So you asking for help. You're asking yourself anyway. It is all you. But it's this thing of, but we are the human race. We are a collective, and there's lots of case studies that show that when as a group, as a organisation, we come together and we help each other and we raise that vibration. And so it's a part of you that wants to keep you separate because you got to do it on your own. It's like, but actually we work far better when we find others that resonate with us and we work together. And you find those people, but you don't find those people. The biggest thing in all of this is that you have to understand, even like in manifestations, yes, you can manifest whatever you want, but there's three energies, or the trinity as I know it, is the feminine, the masculine, and the sacred child, or can also be the doing, which is the masculine, the feeling, which is the feminine, and the imagination, the seeing, which is the sacred child. So if you want something, you want to create something. Firstly, you've got to see it. You've got to imagine it. You focus on that. You've got to then feel it, feeling as if you already got it, and feel that energy. But at some point, you've got to do it. You've actually got to physically do something. So you can't just sit here and go, "Oh, I wish I had a red sports car." You've got to go and buy the bloody thing, or you've got to go and find it. But going out into the world, when we go out into the world, and that's the biggest thing as well, is that we have the great power to create stuff and we can generate stuff, but it's the traveling, it's the adventure. It's not the location, it's the destination. It's going on that destination that you find the things that will help you get it. You'll go and find people, and that's why there's a lot of traveling Daoists, because it's traveling is where they have all their great adventures. It's not actually one set location. And it's like the whole day in spirituality. Oh, go up in the mountains and ascend. And it's like, no, you go to the mountain, you gain all this information, then you've got to go back to the cities and whatnot to share that information out. Otherwise, what's the point? So it's this whole idea. There's always an action. There's always a feeling. Like you're meant to enjoy it, or you're meant to feel from it. You're meant to use your imagination to see it, to manifest it, but then also to flow with it and go with it. But there's also has to be a physical action as well. There's always those three. If you're missing one of those, it's not always going to flow correctly. So you always need a feeling, you always need a doing, and you always need a seeing. You need to see it, believe it, feel it, do it.
Yeah, absolutely, and brilliant three steps. So, to give people an idea of how to do things, and thinking back to what you were saying, um, is when you need to change your mindset, because I know there are some people going, but there is nothing positive that I can do. Would you say, that if you to concentrate on, even focus on the tiniest bit of light to change your thing, like I'm alive today, that would help?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, right. So like, I will go by my own personal experience, and it is like so. For let's go 15 years ago. So, well, yeah, or 10 years ago, definitely. I was in the point of my time at the time where I was in a job that was in a very well paid job, but I wasn't enjoying it. And I wasn't around, I wasn't doing the things I wanted to do. I was doing things that were earning me money, but I wasn't doing the things that were my passion, which is healing and teaching and doing stuff like this. I wasn't around the people I wanted to be. For me, I was in a very dark place. Now, I've always been very good. I've always loved the song "Tears of a Clown," where like I'm always jovial. When you go back to videos of that time, I probably looked on top of the world, because one thing I learned is you want to be something, you've got to keep manifesting it. You've got to living that thing, or But I say, I'm alive. Let's go by that. Let's focus on that. But at that point in time, I do remember joking to myself, saying, I'm in a long dark tunnel, and reading light at the end of the tunnel. There's no freaking light. I can't even see the tunnel, let alone the light. But, but I knew, I knew that there's an old saying that my nan, my adopted nan was Irish, and she had a saying that a broken clock is right twice a day. And I love that saying. And we're talking about old style clocks to the old that they can, but a broken clock is right twice a day. So the whole idea is that sooner or later, whatever you believe is right. Like whatever you believe will come to fruition. So the whole idea was, the whole focus was, I may be in this dark space now. I may be really depressed and feeling like shite now. But at some point, it got to get better. Some point, it has to get better, because a broken clock is right twice a day. That the universe, that you're in a down, but there's always an opposite to everything you're in. So you're in that down, sooner or later, there's got to be an up. And so I always believe that. And it's the one thing that's always kept me going, is that if you focus on what you want, eventually you'll get it. And it took time. But I did things. I did the best I could. So I would go off to the beach. I lived 74 miles. I live in the UK, and in the UK there are a few places that the furthest away you can be from the sea is 74 miles, and I lived the furthest away. And where I lived, but I would save up my money, and every couple of weeks I'd go to the sea, the place I love. So I'd go off and do at least once a week, once a fortnight, once a month. I'd go to the places I love. So you've got to keep trying to do the things you want to do. You do the things that expand you, and keep doing it. Keep focusing on them. Be a bit like, I always get the name from, but I think it's Dory. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep focusing on the thing that you want, and keep doing that, because it's very easy to focus on negative. There's a psychology that says that in the human body, there is the muscles to frown. It takes less energy to frown than it does to smile. So it's easier for us to focus on that negative than it is on the positive. But it's the positive that gives you the rewarding. So always focus on what it is you want. And the way our brain works is that whatever we focus on grows. So, focus on what you want. Don't talk about what you don't want, because you're focusing on it. Focus on what you want, and keep coming back to focusing on you want. And so yeah, I think, like somebody like me, oh, you're always positive, you always, yeah, but that's taken work. That has taken work. Is that I'm a stubborn, pardon my French, but I'm a stubborn ass git. And so, therefore, you have to be stubborn to get what you want. You have to be stubborn. And I'm getting there. It can always be more. There can always be, there's always more to do, and there's always more it can expand. But it's focusing on it, and believing in yourself, and believing in the goal that you want, and just keep doing that.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful words. As always, you explain things so practically, which is what I love so much. And for anyone watching, if you've got any, whether you're watching this live or the replay, if you've got any questions, then please do ask. Feel free to ask. Because we'll get to them. And what I love about all this is the fact that this is one of my words for the year: curiosity. That whenever I talk to you, you're always curious about things, what if, and I think that's quite an important thing for us, is to be curious. But what if?
Mm. And you know what? There's an interesting one in that. It's like, like, oh, curiosity killed the cat. Well, there's a lot of blooming cats about, so you didn't kill that many, did it? So So, but it's the curiosity, and we sort of somebody painted that with that saying, has painted it in negative light. But curiosity is the sacred child energy. Curiosity, that sense of wonder, that sense of it's that funny thing of kids, like kids go, why? And it's like, and then we try, shut it down, but that why is what expands you. That what if? Why? How do it? Why is it this way? Why can't it be that way? Why can't you do it somewhere else? And all the inventions that we have in the world is because somebody asked why. It is and how can we do it this way or could we do it that way? And it's a great one with like Thomas Edison that there's 15,000 failures to create a light bulb, and he said I only need one right way. So you've got all the wrongs. I only need a right way, and it's always working out stuff and always figuring out stuff. And like for me, there's if I turn, well, there's a blue light there, but I turn here and there's loads of books. There's always books. There's always other things to learn. There's always other things you can do. And the biggest thing that I learned was everything you do enhances and grows everything else you do. So there is no, oh, you can't do this, or there is no that. Is that everything impact something else and learn something else. Hence why, I've been a baker. I've been an ice skater. I've done martial arts. I've done healing arts. I do spiritual stuff. I've done quantum physics because everything is interconnected to everything else, and everything you do helps you grow. And it's that thing of is there's a saying within in Taoism sort of said it about the water. It's like be like water. It's that if your consciousness, the Taoist concept of soul comes from the Latin word solio, which means body or breath, and that means that you are this body, but you're not. You're energy. And the whole thing of that the quantum field states that that we are that 99.999% of the field that's connected to every other atom. That means you're not your body. You you're not even of this planet. You're not even in this galaxy. You're not even in this universe. You are so much more that your consciousness can grow and expand and go beyond. And so simple like meditation. I always teach. One of the first I ever learned myself was breathe in the chi, the light, the energy, everything you do want. Breathe out the char, the stress, the worry, everything you no longer need. So breathe in the chi, breathe out the char. Keep going. There is no borders to that. There is no limitations. The only limitations are the ones you set. So the whole idea of what I can do, how I can do, and when you find what you perceive at first as a limitation, how can you get around that limitation? In a game, it's like the game sets rules, but you don't have to obey those rules. You can twist those rules or turn those rules, and it's like, and the same in life. The rules in life. Well, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? How about if I get these people involved and bring other things in? You don't have, we sort of restrict ourselves by thinking you have to rely on you, that you can't use anybody else, you have to rely on you. The one thing right now for me is like, we have like AI, AI can do other stuff that, so if I can't do something, I ask somebody who can. And if it happens to be AI, awesome. But the whole idea is that there's so many more things that you can grow. When you restrict yourself, you limit your possibility. But when you take away those restrictions, you increase your possibility. That the possibilities are endless. So curiosity is a good thing. It didn't kill the cat. Otherwise, there'll be no cats. There's freaking millions of cats. So curiosity didn't kill it. But anyway,
No, and they've all got 9 lives as well. So, hence
exactly.
why they can be curious. Um,
Yeah.
And Susanna says, definitely agree with that, not the cat bit. Um, and she also says curiosity is so empowering. And Jennifer says, yes, I love working on different projects and skills. They're all interconnected. Um, so are you a man? Ah, yes, because Jennifer does human design. Are you a manifesting generator in human design? Or do you know your human
Yes.
design?
Yeah. I'm a manifest generator.
Yeah. See,
Yes.
just goes to show, you see, Jennifer is human design and she recognizes that you're
Well, see, this is the interesting thing. Like people, oh, I don't believe in that sort of stuff. But like these are boxes, and you know, or like I'm an Aries, so I'm an Aries. So I've got as an Aries, I'm supposed to have certain qualities, but it doesn't mean I have to follow all those qualities. I can break those rules and have my own qualities or add other qualities. But it's all about guidance. For me, those sort of things are they're a Sifu. Sifu means muse, guide. Somebody points you along the way. So it helps you on your path. So it's a guide, but then you can take that and you can expand beyond it. It's form, like for me, I think it's very much that whatever whatever you started off as, it's up to you to change that, to expand to that, to add to that. Is that you can have as many skills as you want. You can do what you want. You might not necessarily do it the direct way. You may do it in indirect way. But you can still learn it. There's there's many ways to skin a cat. Not that I'm pro skinning cats, skinning bananas. Go ahead, leave my poor cat alone. But there's so many ways to do stuff. There's so many ways, and it's that thing of don't limit yourself. Don't be curious and don't limit yourself.
yeah, absolutely. And Jennifer says, thought so, passion driver. And Susanna says, "What's that?" I'm take it, Susanna, you're asking about what human design is. It's Jennifer can explain it much more better than I can, but it's just a basic blueprint of how you work. So Sifu's a manifestation generator. I'm a generator, but I work on um, a different way to how seafood does, whereas I kind of like have to take a step back and allow things to move forward so that I can then take action with it. Um, so that's kind of like a basic in a nutshell. I mean, Jennifer knows much more about it than I do. So I don't know if Jennifer, you can put in the chat give Susanna an idea of a bit more into human design because I only know the basics and what I am.
Mm. It's good. It's good guide. Human design is a very good guide. I've done the basics myself, and yeah, it's a good thing to It gives you information about yourself, and then you can take that and you go, right, what do I do with that? How do I? But my biggest thing always never limit yourself to anything. Is that if you when we say I am, you're declaring that this is all you are. But I am infinite. I am indescribable. I am not a cat. You are whatever you choose to be. So allow that to manifest and allow that to become whatever you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, I do guided meditations and angel oracle cards. And each week I like to ask my guests what they would like me to do for themselves and those watching. So, Sifu, would you like me to do a mini guided meditation or pull an oracle card?
Oh, I tell you what, you do the guided meditation, and I'll blast it with energy.
Beautiful. I like that. But I'm also going to include a card in that as well. So we'll do the meditation.
I,
Pull the
sorry,
card with
I was
blast of
greedy.
energy.
I wanted all of it. I should
Yeah,
have just gone with my instincts and said, I want it all. So,
Well, we're going to have it. We're going to have it all. So, as always, when I do the cards, it's what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. So, although I work with the past, we learn and heal from the past. And when we go into the future, we learn and gain information from the future. So, none of it affects us in the present. So, what does Sifu and everyone who's watching this need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? Let's see. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So, if people want to just close your eyes, and as you do so, take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release everything that doesn't need to be in this space. And think about relaxing your whole body. Think about relaxing your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. For when you think about relaxing, so you will relax. Give yourself permission and allow yourself to relax. And as you're thinking about relaxing, you just feel your whole head starting to relax as that relaxation moves down into your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your upper body, your stomach, your back, your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks, your legs and your feet, and your whole body is just so relaxed. And I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And each descending number is going to help you relax more and more. So 5, more and more relaxed. 4, feeling even more relaxed. 3, 2, just drifting deeper and deeper down. 1, beautifully relaxed. And you find yourself standing below a mountain. In front of you, you can see a beautiful mountain. Just imagine, see, feel, know that there is a mountain in front of you. And in your hand, you hold a torch, a flaming torch, a beacon of light. And in your other hand, you hold a staff of infinite possibilities, of your own power, of your own strength, your autonomy. And you notice that behind you, there are hundreds of people, all looking to find a way to get over that mountain, to find that path. And you are a wise leader. Feel that strength within you. You've got your staff, you've got your torch, and you walk forward and you know that you are going to find the right path for every single person, because you are a wise leader. And see yourself leading all these people through the mountain, knowing the right paths to take, when to slow down, when to move a little bit quicker, when to give encouragement, when to be quiet. And before you know it, you have reached the top of that mountain. And everyone who has followed you, they've reached the top of that mountain. And you see the vast vista in front of you. And you see how easy it is to go down the other side. And you take people down. Again, you're such a wise leader with your torch and your staff. you can see, you can know how to lead these people. And before you know it, you've reached the other side, and everyone has fulfilled their potential about what they can do, how they can do it, and you have led them to do that. And just feel into that energy, that achievement that you have done, that you are a wise leader, you are a beacon of light. Feel the energy within you, let it grow. Where in your body do you feel it? Does it have a colour? Get a sense of it now. And as you do, know that you can bring back that colour, that feeling, that energy to become the wise leader that you are supposed to be. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, each ascending number bringing you back to the present, remembering that beautiful journey, the whole energy that you've got. 1, 2, remembering your whole journey. 3, knowing you're a wise leader. 4, you are a beacon of light. 5, fully back, fully present. Wiggle your fingers and toes, move your body, open your eyes, and welcome back. That was beautiful. And of course, the perfect card that came out for what we were talking about and for you and for everyone watching is Wise Leader. You are a beacon for others. I mean, how
Indeed.
much more confirmation is that for you, Sifu? You know, you are a wise leader helping people and, and continue being that beacon of light for others and for everyone watching. You have the ability to be that wise leader yourself. Just trust, know that you can do that. So a beautiful card that came out, and Faye says thank you, Faye, for watching. Susanna, thank you. Janeki, lovely card. Lots of hearts from Faye and Susanna, love it. And thank you for that energy. And Eleanor says, amazing, thank you. And Jennifer says, beautiful rain, Sifu. Yep, thank you, Sifu, for that beautiful energy. I could feel that energy that was coming through was really helping power me with that guided meditation, which is what, which again, it's working together. We are the one same energy, just working in different ways, but coming together to create the energy for everyone. Yes, and Jennifer says, felt your energy too, Sifu. Felt sparkly.
Well, it was one of the things I did in the FT, so the FT 100, 500 index businesses, because I worked like for my CFUs in that, but in those millionaire billionaire companies, they use psychics and empaths and all the what we call woo woo. To them, they know it's real. They know it's like the Harry Potter world. So I was actually known as a generator. So a generator sits there, like sits in the meeting, fires a load of energy in, gives people ideas, gives them inspiration. It raises the vibration. So that's what I've trained to do for the last 40 years. So it is, yeah, it's one of my skills. It's one of the things I do. So it's that whole idea of that we are that, the quantum field. We are all that energy. We have all that connection, and it's just opening up to that and allowing yourself to be it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Susanna says, "Wow, that's cool. It really is. It's just amazing how energy works." So, Sifu, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers before we wrap up?
Look, quite simply, is that whatever you believe is true for you. Allow yourself to be curious. Allow yourself to see that you know, there are all possibilities. You know, allow the answers to come in. Whatever you need is there. You just allow it in and allow yourself to be in. And you know, in my darkest moments when I did something from depression, the one thing that always kept with me was belly breathe, breathing into the belly, let the belly expand, breathe out, draw the belly in. When breathing in the chi, the light, everything you do want, breathe out the char, the stress, the worry, everything you no longer need. And when it gets too much, look up. Because if you look up, that's the direction you're going. You know, you're always going upwards.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found insightful, because I know I definitely have. I always do when I talk to Sifu. It's just amazing. So if people want to connect with you, Sifu, how do they do that? And do you have anything coming up at the moment? Any free gifts, offers to share? What have you got to give
So
us?
Well, but on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm Sifu Boggie, SIFUBOGGIE. You can easily find me that way. My website is Shundao, so SHUNDAO.uscreen.io. The link we've got the link here as well, or you just go to any of my profiles, you'll see that link, and that will take you to my mystery school where it's all about growing and learning. And if you like join, there's a Qi class which is all about energy exercise, Qi Gong. There's a Reiki class which is all about starting with more the Eastern Reiki, which is a little bit different to the Reiki taught in the West, but it's all about learning the exercises that grow and expand. And then there's the Dragon Dog Ascension, which is sort of like the VIP, which is everything, all of the 8 different classes that I do, all of the stuff, and all of them you can join for a week, and you get a week's free trial before you then have to pay. So come for a week, come and ask a billion questions, and come and have some fun with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will put all the links in the comments after the show. And Faye says, thank you very, very much. And Susanna says, all the classes are amazing. Brilliant. Um, so thank you so much for sharing that, Susanna. And again, thank you so much, Sifu, for sharing your wisdom. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. On the show. And of course, for anyone watching, if you are ready for even more clarity and transformation, then I'd love to invite you to a free Soul Path Discovery one-to-one video call where during our time together, I'll pull a couple of angel oracle cards to help you gain clarity and uncover guidance from your higher self or the angels. This is your chance to reflect, connect, and gain insight into your path forward. And I would be truly honoured to chat with you one to one, guide you, and help you take the next step toward living the life you always meant to live. And of course, I do have a couple of incredible free gifts for you designed to help you connect more deeply with your guides and explore your future. So check out the link in the comments after the show to grab yours. And again, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who's joined in live with the conversation and those that will join in with the replay. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost, want to get clear on their destiny just like you. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, then please, subscribe. It is free, and hit that bell button to be notified of when my show goes live, my other show, Oracle Card Meditation and Your Weekend Reset, goes live, which is every Friday at 3:20 p.m. or I post new guided meditations. And remember, every time you like, share, subscribe to any of my stuffs, to Sifu, he's on YouTube as well, and all my other guests, you're helping create that beautiful energy, that web of connection, bringing insights and guidance to people who might not have access to it. And you can be part of that by sharing and liking and, supporting us on our journey so we can help support you and others. And I look forward to you all joining me same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye for now.